Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today we're going to be taking another look at Zen. Not much has changed between this list and the last list. I don't think actually anything has changed. I've actually been kind of liking this kind of split, right, that we have here. So like 2 Pounce and Keys, 2 Harmon Hunts, and then like three Growl seems like a pretty good split for like the Gogan package. I've been liking this current list a lot. Just feels like very aggressive, very lean. Like the 2 key unleash on the board. They could be a little bit clunky for like transcend starters, but we do have like the pouncing keys to kind of balance it out. The board seems really good to me. Again, there's nothing spicy here like that all you got or like anything crazy like wax off. I just think that this is like a very very solid D-React package, and it's pretty good into a lot of like the decks that people are playing right now, especially on Talishar, which is like Ira. So having like 5/4 block reacts or 5/4 block reacts is pretty good in Ira, especially if they try to go for needles. Also just like very reasonable package into new. So I've been liking this current list a lot. I think the current like edge cards are like Harmony Hunt, Pounce and Key are kind of edge cards, and then like maybe the Key Unleash gets like trimmed at some point. But I think those are kind of the cards on the borderline. But everything else seems pretty streamlined. So not much to talk about here. Again, Zen is kind of slowly fading away into the sunset at this point. So we're just gonna play them while we can, have some fun, and see how it goes. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into some games. All right, so we have an Enigma. I generally like going first into Enigma. I feel like there are some case scenarios where it's actually like fine to go second, and I feel like this is a lot closer of a matchup than it was previously. I don't know. I feel I feel like there's pros and cons to going first, but generally, at least it gives you a little bit more agency. It feels like going first, maybe. Because with going second, you get tempo, but like they can basically deny you any filtering if they just like play out an aura and pass. Okay, this hand is adequate. Could actually send Harmon Hunt, uh, have a Tiger in hand, and then play like Breed Anger or something. Do you want to Arsenal Wind Chakra? The awkward part, I guess, about the Harmony Hunt here is that like we need to play out this Tiger now, I think. Yeah, it's a little bit weird here. I don't actually like attacking them like this, but it's probably fine, especially when we have the Tiger floating with Shuko proc. It could get a little bit awkward if they played out like a Waxing Spectre here. It might have been correct to just not do anything here, but I do like just getting the filtering out of the way. All right, we do Fine Transcend, which is really good. It's not necessarily the one that combos with Wind Chakra, but if we can keep some cards, we can at least play it out. All right, pitching a Mirror Guy for a Waning. That's okay. Sure. So we'll say no blocks on this. And then what's follow? Restless, I think, is also fine. Okay, so not a bad turn one from them. 3 damage plus 5 auras is pretty good. Let's go ahead and start with Biting Breeze. This isn't going to hit, obviously, but it does give us a drop, which is pretty good. And then we can just close chain, play Wind Chakra, and then do Chase Aspect, which is decent. Do we want to hold on to the Winds of Eternity, or do we just want to Kakara? I guess that's a decent question. All right, we'll go ahead and drop now. Oh, by closing the chain, we do give them footsteps value, though. Maybe in that case, we actually just want to hold on to the Wind Chakra and Arsenal. I mean, it's only like +2 damage we're missing out on. Because they get to reblock, or this basically comes in for like 2 if we want to play it. I think it's still worth it. Because like this is not like a very prime Arsenal target. So I think it makes sense to close here. Then let's go ahead and Kara, I guess, and then we'll just do Chase Aspect stuff. I do think I want to Kakari now so we can put all the buffs on the big tiger. The Shuko buff specifically. Might force like an awkward block. Alright, go ahead and get Chase. Off to a pretty decent start here. So you give us Footsteps again, and then also like a 4 block would work. Or they have to give us 2 cards. Alright, I'm A-okay with 2 weakest links though. I definitely feel like that first hand there might have been something better to do. Not sure what it was though. Like maybe we just pass, but that also feels pretty bad because we're not like filtering towards chi. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's correct. Alright, and we'll just cash in our 6 damage, which is pretty good. Alright, they do have a hold the line. I see a lot of this card in Enigma, and I know I imagine this card is like not for Zen, just because like Zen doesn't really draw cards anymore. Alright, we're drawing pretty hot though. Alright, we'll start with the Biting Breeze again. Alright, they have buddies, which is fine. Alright, they are on truce. That's good information. Go ahead and stir here. I think we can just get a blue key unleashed, honestly. And just Arsenal swipe. Seems decent. I do still sometimes miss the red key unleashed. I think it's like a pretty reasonable card, honestly. But the blue one kind of like fits in the deck pretty good. It's just a blue 3 block that, you know, you can tutor if you need to. I think there's definitely like pros and cons. You might even be like, I've seen people run one of each as well, like run one blue, one red, just so you have like a good tutor target. I don't think that's completely unreasonable. Right, they have Fate as well. That is fine. I do like to see Phantasmaclasm out of the way because that card is pretty brutal against us. We do have some good chi at least cycling here, so they develop out a Waning Vengeance. That's fine. They could have kind of done that on their turn anyways, and they'll have to pay for it here. This hand's interesting. So you have to pitch like CNC to like make full use out of his hand, but it might be worth it to just go for it. It's probably correct. Block Traverse, send the full Sacred Art hand. I generally like using my Traverse in response to their Traverse, but I don't think they've really transcended or done anything, so maybe it's time to kind of try to capitalize on some tempo. I'll leave the Pouncing Paws block in case we need to block like 6 on something. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get our chi. I think the sequence here is we're going to levels, pitching CNC, Sacred Arts, and then tutor. I think that's the ordering. It's definitely a little bit of an awkward hand, but I think it's still worth going for. Alright, so start with levels, pitching CNC, Sacred Art, get a resource, activate. I think we can get a chase here pretty safely. I'll still get draw go on this. We did have to lose out on our CNC, but I think it's okay. E-Strike could be good, or we could also just save it for next turn. Not really opposed either way. All right, let's go ahead and I guess start with some tigers. They are getting a lot of value out of these footsteps, and they've also pitched 2 mirror guys, which is kind of interesting. I think you generally don't want to be pitching this card if you can help it, but maybe their hands have been kind of weird. All right, they will let their Waning die, that's fine. Then I think we should play out a Tiger now just so it gets the Shuko buff, so it pressures their Spectral Shield a little bit. Maybe gives us a little bit of value there. Alright, so we do get some Spectral Shield value. Let's go ahead and play the Growl now. I think I'm just gonna hold this for next turn, just so we can like pressure an aura if we need to. Like, we don't need to bottom a Tiger here, I think. Like, I think our hand is like fine without it. Alright, Swipe is also a must block here. They must give at least another card or like Calming Gesture if they want to stop this. Alright, they do have a Sync. That's a-okay. So we do pressure him down to 20, which is good. Sitting on an E-Strike. Got a lot of chi circulating in deck, and we just keep drawing them more. Okay, this is definitely like one of the easier ways to win this matchup. I think there is like generally a lot of back and forth in this matchup, but I think that our draw is not really giving me a lot of credit to that point, I guess. All right, we have Spectral coming in for 1, or for 4 rather. I think that's fine. I think our turn is actually going to be like E-Strike, double Transcend, pitching Underwinds. It's kind of nasty. We've seen like 6 or... Are we at 6 chi at this point? I think we might be. This is also like the first time in a while I've done like E-Strike for draw plus go again off path. It's kind of interesting. Because you almost never do this unless you already have like another chi in hand. It's kind of weird to get this to line up. I think this is fine. Also, we just like drew the exact same card with bottom, which is kind of funny. All right, well, we'll come in for 6, I guess. Just draw chi every turn. It's that easy, I guess. All right, gain resources. All right, they have Restless. I think that's fine. Wonder how they're going to cover the extra 1. I think they might need to use Calming here. Yeah, assuming they want to try to attempt to keep this alive, which is probably not worthwhile. Okay, yeah. So you got like 3 block out of that, which is not amazing. Let's go ahead and get... What do we want here? Get another Key Unleashed is kind of reasonable, but then we don't have like the Tiger guaranteed. What else is an option? Just get like a Breed Anger. Don't need to use all our resources, then we can just arsenal this. Oh, I also probably should have a card on that. Small mistake. Oh, whoops. We should extra not do this. Sorry. We should Breed Anger first. All over the place today. Right, that's fine. Then we'll come in with Kakara. I think we transcended like every turn, which is kind of nuts. So we have a ton of cheat that's kind of just circulating in the deck at this point, which is really good. I guess we just arsenal this, but this does not feel like a very close Enigma game. Mainly because of our draw. I think our draw has been kind of nuts. Alright, no transcend on this hand, but we'll make do. Let's just E-Strike CNC is probably the line. Yeah, it seems fine. Don't think there's really a need to overthink it here. They've also not transcended a ton, which is interesting. I think CNC in this matchup is pretty good just because they do tend to run full suite of reacts, plus it's just like a decent popper for like Phantasmaclasm. Alright, they have finally hit Transcend, which is good for them. They do have like 2 mirror guys on the bottom of the deck though, unless they've shuffled and I haven't noticed. But they will be able to stuff my CNC here. Oh, they have 3 Transcends. Okay. Might be trying to Cosmic me here. We'll see. So your hand is like 3 Transcends and then 1 other card. Alright, so that's the other card. So they have 3 Transcends in their hand, which is kind of funny. Interesting. They are sequencing this correctly, so that's good. They could do like 2-2-1 if they want to pop Calming. It's not bad. What's our hand next turn? We do like 100 wins, 100 wins. They're not gonna have an arsenal though, so I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll just get pouncing paws here. The other two cards are chi, so I assume they're gonna make a new spectral, attack with it, ping the one, and then make pop calling gesture maybe. Which I think is fine. Or not. Okay, that makes sense too. So let's start with Hunter wins. Blue Hunter wins, red Hunter wins, aspect, finish on CNC. I think the CNC is mostly just going to be for damage here though. Kind of a nut draw though. We'll not Kakara this turn. We're just gonna send CNC. I think it's still fine if they don't have an arsenal. Just because it will pressure a card out of their hand at this point since they're pretty low. Alright, so we get a truce out of them. I think that's fine. Bring him down to 2. Pretty good life lead here. Even if they have like a crazy mirror guy, I think we're pretty safe. This hand actually kind of slaps for a 4-card hand, mainly because of pouncing paws here. But I think I'll just take this. Again, we got a pretty significant lead, so we're incentivized to try to keep our whole hand here. So let's go ahead and start with Kakara. We want to send our smaller attacks first, just so we can pressure the Waxing Spectre with like awkward blocks. I think makes the most amount of sense. They do still have Traverse though, so it's not that awkward of a block to just block with Traverse. And then we'll pop pause here. Hopefully just take a bunch of cards out of their hand. I think one important thing about Enigma generally is you do want to try to keep an arsenal against them, but we've kind of pressured them to the point where I don't think that is incredibly relevant. Mainly you want to keep an arsenal just to like deal with the huge board that they try to set up. Because otherwise, if you're setting a 4-card hand, they can block it pretty efficiently, generally. Especially if it's like a bad 4-card hand. Then we'll do Growl, plus Tiger, plus Bouncing Key. I do think Growl is actually like very, very good against Enigma. I do tend to like that card a lot in this matchup. Just because it makes a bunch of weird breakpoints. I mean, we already had the Shuko breakpoint on this, which like kind of forced a card out, but it makes it so they can't like Phantasmal or block a Tunic or something. Unfortunately for them, this is Shuko buffed, so they will not be able to keep both, unfortunately. They might have forgotten about that here. Yeah, it looks like they stuck with an aura in hand, so makes sense. So that was a pretty good game to... Well, I don't even know if that was a very good game in terms of like illustrating how I approach the Enigma matchup, because we just basically drew Chi almost every turn except for the last like 2 turns. Yeah, but that was a pretty nasty game. Let's see if we can get another. All right, we have a Bravo here. Bravo is a weird one, mainly because I normally assume that the like competitive form of Bravo is Fatigue Bravo. In which case, I think I hedge by like boarding out Growls and then just running like 65 into them and seeing how that goes. If it's normal Bravo, though, it could definitely be a little bit tough, but I think this is pretty reasonable. Bravo is not... Bravo is actually, I think, one of the first heroes I played in CC, which is kind of interesting. I do like him a lot, but he is also just kind of like trash right now. Starstruck's pretty good though. I will give them that. So what do we want to do here? This is all attacks, right? So that's pretty bad. I guess we are just taking 7 here though, because like blocking 6 doesn't really do very much. I'd rather almost save this for Arsenal if I can. So we'll take 7 here on turn 1 and we'll lose our first turn, but we get to Arsenal and then we have a cheat in hand, so I think that's okay. Yeah, so we'll just pass here. Pretty decent hand from them. Alright, we will go ahead and just pass back. Arsenal flick. And I guess hope they can't do that again. I don't think it's worth giving up equipment there to like block that. I think that's probably dumb. Like, we're so far behind if we lose Shuko or like Kasai or anything that I think it's fine. Just take 7 damage on turn 0 and lose our whole turn. But it's okay. Our hand's still really good. Generally, I don't think you want to let Bravo go first, but Bravos are on some weird shit right now, so who knows. All right, they're getting another Starstruck, which means they will probably get punished if they try to go for it again because we have the Flick Block now. Let's start with Biting Breeze here. All right, we'll get a bunch of Tigers. Pretty all right. Let's start here just to kind of develop out the Chi, get our resource, and then activate or do Sacred Art as well. Get another, and then definitely want to activate Zen. I think it's fine to put the Shuko here. And I think we're just sending the whole hand. Let's go ahead and get Chase here. I think we're gonna pitch Winds of Eternity to Kakara. Just for an extra 3 versus 2 damage at the end. Seems pretty decent. And then we're also sitting on a Flick Flack for their big Starstruck turn, unless they like pummel it or something, which could happen. But maybe slightly unlikely. Alright, finish on the Tiger. Surprised they didn't want to try to use like Civic Steps at any point here. Because like they kind of like knew our hand at various points, but is what it is. Right, they do get a 6-card hand. They have Starstruck. So unless they're doing like pummel Starstruck, I think we're fine here. Alright, they are a CYB deck, which makes sense given it's Bravo. But we should be plenty insulated against CYB. Right, let's see what their hand is. They're pitching a red Counter Blessing, which is interesting. What does this mean? This could be a pummel theoretically, but like, do CYB Bravos run pummel? Probably not, right? So we'll just take our 3 here. They do get an Arsenal, which is fine. Looks like they're also like using their blues to kind of insulate against new, which makes sense. We kind of did that in the Betsy video. So we would do 3-3. And then just set up mauling an Arsenal, I think is fine. And this is also why we hedge by bringing in extra cards, because most heroes like this, like, kind of just have to assume they're CYB. Alright, so Buckle notably is like Mangle, in that we need to have an equipment with a -1 counter already to have this actually work. So what do we want to do here? Funny enough, we cannot. No, this is when the comment chain closes, so they actually can't break this, right? Yeah, if we block with this, they actually can't break it. Which kind of actually makes me want to do it just so we can unbrick this hand a little bit. It's kind of tempting. I think this doesn't break, right? Because it's when the comment chain closes, the counter's put on it, so it won't see the buckle, because this is the on hit, right? So if I'm understanding this correctly, this should not work for them. Cool. I think that did not work. Cool. Perfect. Could be an L1 judge at this point. All right. Let's just start with Kakara, I think is fine. And then we'll do I think we're getting at least like 4 value here out of this because we can. I think it's even more than that because we're able to like kind of unclick this hand. So I think this is fine here. All right, pop or pause. We don't have to worry about using equipment because it's not like Jarl or anything. So I think we're in a fine spot here. This will come in for 5 off Shuko, which is pretty good. And we got 3, basically 8 more damage, threatening 9 potentially. All right, they are on like a more fatiguey build, so they're running Oasis, which makes sense. Nerves, also not really a surprise here. This is merely a pale imitation of the Betsy deck. All right, staunch it up as well. Sure. All right, the CNC is going to be pretty good if we can resolve it. So let's go ahead and start with Harmony Hunt. Against CYB Bravo, I don't know if I actually want to put a Tiger in the deck at this rate. I do think CNC is probably going to be pretty decent against them here. We can play out 2 Tigers and then finish on CNC. Arsenal E-Strike, I think, is okay. If we want to be like super aggressive, we can like E-Strike a Tiger back in the deck, but I generally don't like doing that in just slower matchups like this. I think we'll just get our Tiger value while we can. And then just send CNC, which might be brutal for them. Okay, cool. Seems like it was at least decent. All right, here. I think I want to Arsenal one of these Harmonies. Maybe. I don't think Harmony is actually very good in like fatigue matchups. So maybe the Wind Chakra is actually better. So we should pitch one just to Kakara. I think it's all right. Then we'll do E-Strike. Oh, actually, we should have probably Arsenal something. That's fine. We shouldn't have Kakara. We should have just done Go Again buff, I think, and then Arsenal that, but that's okay. Let's just do Go Again then buff. Should be fine. Oh, now we do get a free Arsenal because the Civic Steps. Okay. Kind of not punished, I guess. I guess we could have done draw card anyways and got a random Arsenal, so the Go Again doesn't really actually even matter here. Alright, we'll just Arsenal a Transcend starter. I think that's fine. Alright, so they develop out the first CYB. That's okay. This hand's a little bit clunky. I think we're just playing out Underwinds, Kakara, CNC, and then Arsenal Molenki. I want to start squeezing in some of these Kakaras. I'm kind of amazed that they were actually able to like dominate a Starstruck on turn 1. Because this deck has to be running like a ton of reds. Alright, so we do have a CNC here. Do we care, I guess is the question. We could care about this if we wanted to, but it's fine to care about this. We can give up 1 Cosmic. I think it's alright. We have 3 in the deck. Plenty of redundancy here. If they want to CNC this, I think we're also fine with that. Or if they want to pummel this, I think we're also fine with that. So we'll give up 1 Cosmic. We can always preserve it back later. It's not like Bravo has like any real way to like banish anything. So I think it's alright. Stick a Sync Blow in Arsenal in case they have anything. They're out of CNCs notably, which is also, I think, pretty good for us. Right, pretty efficient here. Alright, they do have Starstruck, which again is fine. We could pop Traverse here, but we also like don't need to. I feel like the play is actually just block with levels and sync, and then I don't think we need to sync anything. We could also just sync Underwinds just to find something a little bit more relevant, which I also think is probably fine. So let's go ahead and do that. Sync 100 Alright, find another Sync Blow, which I think might actually even be better. And we'll play out the Harmony Hunt here, which is actually like pretty good in fatigue kind of matchups because you present a bunch of weird breakpoints for basically 1 card. Alright, they go down to 5. We have a Sync Blow in Arsenal, so we're pretty safe against anything they do here. Alright, looks like it's just an Othos for 7. So I guess the question here is, do we want to kind of go for it? I think we probably just do. I think they're far enough behind where we can afford to block Witch Reverse and Kasaya, because we've already transcended a bunch. Like, I think it's probably okay here. Get our Chi. Or we've only transcended, I guess, 2 times now. Okay, so not a ton actually, but still seems fine. So yeah, we were able to cover pretty much all of their threats, even though we took 7 on the first turn. But like, again, I think CYB Bravo definitely got hurt by the CYB Blue ban, especially just because I don't think this deck does a ton otherwise. This deck, they're not even running Crippling Crush, which is also kind of interesting. Just Starstruck, no Spinal, no anything. Huh. Fatigue Bravo is like a very, very strange deck right now. So let's see if we can. That was actually a fast Fatigue ding too. So let's see if we can get another though. All right, Greasy Choir Boy. What is my Dio board normally like? I think I like Flick Flack in the Dio generally. I like the reacts in the Dio a lot. Not like Waxon, but I think just cutting some 2 blocks is reasonable. I do like Warmongers, and then are we also cutting? We're cutting Hunterwinds. I don't know if I agree with that over. Where's the other card? Am I missing Harmony Huts here? My brain is not registering where they are. Hello? Alright. Oh, there they are. I guess we're just, good enough. Okay, yeah. I cannot see where the Harmony Huts were, so we're running 61, which is fine. I just want to make sure they didn't leave. Alright. BIOS update, Sprocket Rocket. Hitting a pounder, Jesus Christ. Okay. Greasy Choir Boy, you're off to a good start. I'm gonna go ahead and just try to get max filtering here. Oh my god. Double pounder turn 1 as Dio? What the hell is this? Okay. That's not okay. Well, what is our play? I feel like our play is to I feel like our play is to what? Just like Warmongers them and then Arsenal sink. It's pretty bad, but they did have a very, very good start. Normally I like to Warmongers when they have like Cerebellums out so they can activate it, but I think it's probably necessary to maybe try to stem a little bit of the bleeding here. Alright, T-Bone coming in for 7. That's kind of spooky. I think we'll go ahead and block 4 here exactly so that if they play out a Boom Grenade, we can at least cover it. I think we're going to try to save this for Boom Grenade purposes. Alright, we'll go ahead and show them Tiger Swipe and Key Unleash, and then block with Swipe. I think on our turn we're just sending a CNC here. Force them to use Crown at least, which is probably the best we're going to get. At least now they don't get to use it for filtering, which I think is worth it. I think this might be a matchup where like the wax on wax off stuff is like semi decent, but even then it's like kind of whatever, because most of them are on like the Hanabi plan or like the Teklo pistol plan. Okay, this hand's pretty good though. Alright, what items do we have? We have Teklo Core. Okay, that's bad. Yeah, it's not great coming in for 9. Can double sync it, I guess, but then we have to give up like Kasaya or something to do that. Or we give up a card from hand, which I guess is maybe worth it. All right, we'll double sync. I think the rest of our hand's good, so I think it's just these 2. Yeah, double Tackle Pounder to turn 1 is definitely a way you can lose. All right, Spark as well. Definitely not off to a great start here. All right, double Spark of Genius. Jesus Christ. Okay, what are we doing here? What are they getting? Boom Grenade plus something? Playing a Cerebellum off the top. Okay. They're kind of just playing out a ton of shit at this point. All right. So we're gonna be taking 7 here, which again I don't think there's much we can do about. So should be fine. I think we need to develop Irachi in deck, especially if we want to like potentially make a Zen state, block with Traverse or something. But their draw has been disgusting, kind of. All right, what are we getting back? Potentially ice. Oh, T-Bone. Sure. That's fine, I think. Okay, into a max B. Pretty good DO hand, if I do say so myself. Maybe we can get a chase here, though, if they, like, don't block. But otherwise, we're not doing a ton. Alright, they are wise and decided to block. Alright, show the card drawing, gain a resource, and then activate Zen. We'll get our mauling and then just send Tiger. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're supposed to live through this because, like, they basically got 12 damage on turn 0. I guess even more than that. It was like a 20 damage turn 0. Kind of disgusting. We'll do our best here, though. All right, Throttle coming in for 10. I feel like we're not going to be able to race this. So what's the actual way we win this game? Is Fatigue a viable way out? I don't think it actually is. I don't know if there is actually a way out of this game, if I'm being honest. But we'll do our best. Maybe blocking here. Maybe we just chance it and say they don't have anything here. So if we play like a Boom Green off the top, I think we're just dead. So maybe we just save blocks or something. I'm not sure. I think we're a little bit too far behind here. I don't even know if like wax on, wax off would necessarily even help us in this scenario because like they're coming up over for so much like base damage that like I don't even know if you can like come back from this with that. Maybe you could. I'm trying to think if it would matter. Probably not, if I'm guessing. Alright, do see Sprocket Rocket for 4. They did develop out another Cerebellum, or how did they get a counter back? Do they banish a Fast and Furious? Maybe that's what it was. So maybe we bank on like Warmongers ruining them. Maybe that's our out. Not very confident in this. Alright, so you can still Techno Foundry Heart, get back like a 0 cost, which would be like T-Bone or something, or Fast and Furious. Go ahead and block. Alright, then we got Nabi as well. Maybe we block 4 and then... Do we block like this? Maybe we block 4 like this and then play out Warmongers and then we save our Zen state. They are only out actually at this point is like Fatigue. I can see that being the case. Alright, we'll play out the Warmongers. So it should at least eat. Well, I guess they can do this at instant speed, so it doesn't really eat that, but eats the Cerebellum at least, which is something. Yeah, I don't know if Fatigue is actually a viable thing when we're at 3, but I'll do my best. Right, there's the 3rd pounder, which is pretty rough. Are they playing another one off the top? Interesting. Why play another one off the top when you know I have the Warmongers? It's kind of interesting. I think we're still dead here, though, but... That might give us like a small out. Also saves us from Boom Grenade at least. Okay, they're not cranking here. Interesting. I guess we just have to kind of go for something here. Not sure what that something is. Like maybe we naturally draw into Chi and then activate Kasaya at some point. Seems pretty bad. So I'm not actually sure if there is a way out at this point. We'll do our best though. Maybe we should just go for like aspect here in case we just naturally draw into chase. I think that might be like one of our only outs. Alright, Druid did not chase, which is fine. We're not doing enough damage here to actually like meaningfully pressure them. Here, so we get down to like we get them down to like 11. Still like a 10-point difference basically, just given their draw. All right, so I think we need to like naturally draw into some double chi Kasaya nonsense. We already used Rising Sun though, didn't we? So I don't even think that's an out. Let's go ahead and block with, I guess, these two. Does that even make any sense? Yeah, it's fine. Don't think it really matters much here. All right, so we have the Techno Foundry activation, which is fine. We'll go ahead and try to block this 0 to 60. But again, I don't think we're really living here. Also, we probably should have done that after they removed the counter. But I'm assuming they're forcing it through anyways. Pretty likely. Alright, this cannot be defended by equipment, so we die. Pretty nuts draw. Oh, and they had like a Mex. Well, the Mex V I guess would have been like next turn maybe. But yeah, double pounder on turn 0 with BIOS updates. Kind of nasty. They didn't even like naturally play this out. They just kind of ripped it off a BIOS update. It's kind of disgusting. All right, we have a Kayo. Kayo I do like flicks into generally. I think maybe like one extra react also might be fine. And maybe we cut like growls here. I think the rest seems okay. I don't generally run anything like weird into them. I think this is probably just fine. I do think this is actually one of our like worst matchups. I think here I just want to like double filter, maybe hold on to bouncing key. Opponents on beaten trackers too, which is pretty scary. This card is like very good in KO. I think it might actually be better than Scabs. The armor on Scabs is like very good though, but like getting an action point is also very good. I think here we're just passing. We got our filtering. We at least get to see three new cards where they only get to see one. Alright, they do have Blood Rush plus Beast Within. Pretty good first draw. So we need to be a little bit careful about sun packing here. So I think we'll say no blocks here. Sure. Then they have a Massacre. Also fine. Coming in for 10. What's our play? We do E-Strike into CNC, but that's not like anything crazy. Then we are still levels. They have so much armor though that's not like super impactful. Wonder if actually cutting CNC against KO is like semi-correct. It might be. I haven't played against KO in a while. I do know this matchup does feel pretty bad though, just because of Blood Rush. Alright, let's start with E-Strike Go again. Good scaling us here, but like it's 50-50 whether they get the result they want. Yeah, we'll finish on CNC. Might get some armor out of them at least. Okay, I am fine with this. All right, we found our Transcend, although it's not a very good Transcend at this point. All right, discarding an E-Strike. Kind of do just want to flick this. Because we're not going to be able to realistically like do anything with this Transcend card, and we already have the level stuck in Arsenal. So a little bit unfortunate here, but I think we'll just get the value out of our flick. All right, they have 2 floating, 1 card in hand. What's their play? I think I'm just gonna pass here. All right, another Bear Fangs is fine. Could actually IP ourselves here if we wanted to. Am I okay with that? Probably, honestly. If we draw any blue, our hand's like kind of, or we need to draw like 2 blues, I guess, and our hand's insane. I think this is worth it. We are a little bit slow here, though. Okay, we did draw 2 blues, which is good. But we've only found our first playable Transcend on turn 4, and they've hit 2 Blood Rushes, so not in great shape here. All right, Claw for 6 will have to be fine. We need to save our cards for blocking something a little bit better. All right, into Smash for 7, Banishing Swipe. I think we just need to go for it here. We go to 4, which is rough, but like, I think we need to send our whole hand in order to have a shot at winning. It's kind of like the Dio game that we played. I think we should just go ahead and just take this, I guess. Definitely feels rough because we're at a 30-point difference because of Blood Rushes, but is what it is. All right, they have Mighty Light up as well. I think that's okay for us, actually. All right, so here we're going to levels, pitching Wind Chakra, Sacred Art. Get all the modes. Get a Chase. Notably, their Scowling is also not incredibly good against us. We'll go ahead and do Kakara. Seems fine. I think we're planning on arsenaling this. I think this is about as good as this turn is going to get. I feel like now might be the opportunity to Scowling. Maybe not, though. Not sure. Do we want to 50-50 it? I just want to play out the Tiger first. If they hit the swipe, it's bad, but it's whatever. I guess now we'll do the swipe. Coming in for 4. They have plenty of armor to block this. All right, so the banish are preserved. We actually, no, we didn't want to flip that because we're going to arsenal that. So this is potentially fine. We still have our fridge up at least. So maybe the game's a little bit closer than it was 34-4 beforehand. All right, they do have Sash, though, into Bear Fangs. Pretty decent, especially if they pop through the beatings, which they will. Makes sense. So do just need to block this, so maybe we just give up all of our armor. Kind of blows, but we don't really have an option here. Yeah, I think we're just a little bit slow here. And they have a very nice hand. So we could just get Swipe for 4, send at them, block 7. Block 5 and technically not die, but we're not really doing a whole lot anyways. I think this is just too much damage for us, unfortunately. So we can go to 1 exactly, but we're pretty much dead to Reckless or anything. Let's go ahead and get what here? Swipe's fine. Winds of Eternity, I guess, is also fine. not really fine, and more so just like not losing more than anything. They could brick though. It's not impossible. They also didn't really get a good chance to use their pouncing paws this game. I feel like they're just a little bit too fast for us. All right, go ahead and pass it back. Hope they don't have any action point generation on their turn. All right, Mighty Windup is potentially fine. This might be a situation where we need to try to get lucky off of Ancestral Harmony or something to win this, because otherwise I don't see a real path to victory. This is also coming in for 5, so I don't think we actually have an out here. Alright, we do also have Pack Hunt, which will kill us, so pretty nasty game from them. Again, that was a double blood rush with them the first like 2-3 turns, which is I think above average. Yeah, let's take a look at their damage threatened. Can we look at that? Yeah, we basically just took like 15 damage on each of their blood rush turns. Pretty rough. Yeah, but that was a pretty good one to end it on. So yeah, Zen definitely still has some like weird matchups where you can definitely get high rolls. Like if you see like DOs with Cerebellums or Blood Rushes pretty early, you can definitely just like lose to that. But I just don't think the deck is really solid. Again, like we also have our own higher potential with this deck, which I think is generally a lot better than most other people's, just because we have like 9 copies basically. Yeah, I think that will wrap it up for today. If you have anything you want me to try on Zen or have any thoughts on the deck list, let me know. But pretty happy with this deck so far, and this is kind of why I've been playing at like events and stuff. So still pretty happy with the list, but we'll continue to kind of try out some things. I think I have a little bit of a backlog of things I still want to try. So this was just going to be a fun session for today. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.